All right, everybody. Um, Happy Saturday evening to all of you, or whenever you happen to be watching this. Haven't done a video in a while. Had some busy things going on personally, but hopefully now trying to get back on schedule. As you know, I've been doing some payoff. I'm not payoff pitch, some fall classic baseball, and most recently have delved into season ticket baseball, and I've enjoyed both those games quite a bit actually. And I wasn't sure what to do with this video, whether I should do it live or record it. But I decided, what the hey, why not do it live? So I had some family business to take care of this evening and afternoon, and I was not at home. But when I got home, I was pleasantly surprised by finding something on the steps front porch, and so I decided to share that. Hello, Brian B. How are you doing, sir? So, what arrived is none other than Strat-O-Matic. Strat-O-Matic. I looked on the videos, on YouTube videos, and I do not remember seeing a Strat-O-Matic unboxing this year, for the 2023 set. So I figured, why not? What the hey? I maybe a little bit late to the party because a lot of people that pre-order got their stuff ahead of me, but what the hey, we'll try it out anyway, see what happens. And so there's the box. You can see the familiar Strat-O-Matic logo. Of course, we have to flip it over because that's where the tape is. So as you can see, this is, as Kurt Berglund would say, is hermetically sealed in a mayonnaise jar, and it has not been tampered with, not even by FedEx. So I've got my tools of the trade to dig into this and hopefully not damage anything. And then I'll share what's upcoming for me on the channel with Strat-O-Matic. So we'll get it going here. I'll start trying to, I guess I can just go right down the line here without hopefully not damaging anything. That's the danger of this, is I want to get it open, but I don't want to cut into anything. So I got it started, and in case you're late to the party, to the gun show is right here for anybody that wants it. If I can get it in there close enough, let me see if I can zoom in close enough here on the gun show. Maybe I can't. I don't know. Can't get quite under there. Gun show's not quite as Toby Keith used to sing, I ain't as good as I once was. But maybe I'm as good once as I ever was. But I'll be 59 next month, so the guns may be getting a little old. May need some oil. I don't know. But anyway, let's rip into this bad boy. And you can hear the sounds of the box, which stands no chance against my guns. So there we go. Now I got the top off. Now let's get the sides, and I will use the sharper implements for that to make things easier. Getting this off on the side. There we go. I think we're all complete now. Okay, let's open this bad boy up. And this is pretty much simply all we have is right here. So let me move the box out of the way. There's nothing else in the box. So we will ditch the box for now. And here we'll turn it this way. And we got the little tape on the bubble wrap, but I'll just tear that off right off the get-go. And what we have here is the 2023 set with the iconic Strat-O-Matic rubber bands, which everybody and their brother loves to have, I'm sure, except not on the cards. You can use them for other things. I use them quite a bit for PDFs of other games because you can't really hurt anything with a PDF that way. You got some things about rule changes, the typical things that come with Strat-O-Matic. Talking about tournaments and stuff like that, so I don't really need all that. We have the ballpark effects, American and National League, and also the weather effects, American and National League. And the roster sheet. And that is right here, the roster sheet. I did get it, of course, with the extra players, so I've got the extra players as well. And then they also got one of these little thingies here about, I guess, making your own card. The only thing that's mysterious by its absence that I don't see anywhere is a Stratitude sticker. So I think they gypped me out of my Stratitude sticker because I don't see one. I've got one from my previous order, but I don't have one from this order. So I'm not sure if they're not putting them in the things anymore or what. Hello, Ron. Hello, Mark. How you doing? So I don't know if they're not doing the Stratitude stickers anymore. If maybe that's a thing of the past now. That used to be a thing back in the past, but don't see it now. But anyway, we've got the rubber bands that I can use for different things. All right, so we've got the regular set and the additional player set. I do like the font on these. My phone's probably not picking up very well to show these, but I'm going to get a little closer. I don't know if I get a little closer whether it's maybe you can see a little bit better. I don't know if I can put it in here where you can actually see the stats and everything. Let me pull it up a little bit closer. Maybe I'm too close. I don't know. Anyway, that's the font there. And there is the font for the advanced and super advanced side. Traditional red and blue, of course. And of course the additional player cards. Not sure how many there are in the additional players, but since there's no more pitcher batting cards, they're able to put in more players with the additional players, so that's always helpful. And I bought something as well. It was only $3, so I figured, what the hey. I've never bought these before, but I saw somebody had them once, and I said, you know what, this looks kind of neat, so I'll try it. And that is the Nameless players. I bought the Nameless players for, if anybody, I guess what you've got here is you got a batting average, and it's for the basic and for the advanced sides as well. But I assume it's, in case you're missing a player and you don't have the PC, you can find somebody that's got a similar average to the guy you're missing and insert this card. It's like a filler. So for $3, I figure, what the hey, it's not that big of a expense to do that. So I'll fool around with that later on, but and it gives you little instructions here about how to use the players and whatnot. It was for $3. I figured, what the hey, I'll probably use it for my 1920 Strat set that I have, because I don't have that on the computer, whereas 23, I would say don't need it because I got it on the computer, and I can look at the computer cards and get who I need off of that. So I don't know if anybody in particular wants to see anybody in particular, but looks like they're all, in alphabetical order. So let me see if I can do this without hurting anything. I'll show some of the Baltimores, particularly Adley Rutschman, quickly becoming one of the top catchers, if he's not already there, of the American League or of baseball in general. But these things are in there really, really tight. I'm afraid if I cut into it, I'm going to cut one of the cards. So again, I'm having to use the guns to peel this away and try not to damage the corners. Almost speaking like I'm doing something with a PSA 10 baseball card, trying not to dip the corners, but here we go. Get this plastic off of here. And there are the cards. As far as the card stock goes, very similar to the 2022. Pretty decent card stock, better than a little bit above the average of the normal card stock, which they had been in the past. Rutschman, let me get a little pointer here. Rutschman is a 1 with a -2 arm and an E1. So pretty good there defensively. Pretty good defensive catcher. Don't know if there's anybody else in particular anybody wanted to see. Let's look at this. You have to turn on this side to get the stats. Gunnar Henderson, a great rookie card. 28 home runs, 255 average, can play third or short. Don't know how well he plays third or short. 2 E15 and a 2 E20. That's pretty good, actually. So the Orioles won 100 games and won the AL East. So very interested in maybe possibly doing something with them. And of course, let's look at the Shohei Ohtani card. That's probably something that's people would be interested in. Also, if I can find him, another card, at least for me, that's interesting. Assuming I can find him. Yeah, here he goes. Bobby Witt Jr. Boy, if he was anywhere other than Kansas City, he'd be more well known than he really is. Of course, his father, Bobby Witt, pitched for Texas and Oakland and some other teams. 30 home runs as a shortstop, a 2-rated shortstop. Where did he go here? Here he goes right here. 2E14 at shortstop. He's a double-A stealer, and he hit a total of 30 home runs, stole 49 bases. So you're talking about almost a 30-50 man, 11 triples as well. Kind of did it all at shortstop, at the shortstop position for Kansas City. He's going to be the pillar of their team in the future as long as they don't trade him. And hello, Mr. Little. Hello, Phoenix Knight. Well, and obviously, interesting you mentioned about how the cards tear. Sometimes you got to be careful in these things because if you try to tear too many stacks at one time or try to go too fast, you can be careless and cause some rips on these things. So what I generally do is fold down the line once, fold down the line twice each way, and then generally they come apart very, very easily. So you fold it down once, fold it over twice, and they come out very easily. And then same with the sideways, with the horizontal. Sometimes you'll get a bad batch and the perforations are not cut all the way through, and it makes it really difficult. But these right here cut out pretty well without a whole lot of the side white, what the replay gamer calls boogers on the side. So they seem to do pretty well. I think I'm going to try to do it with 2 in a row. So that's 6 cards together where I'm doing those where they're, 2 sheets together. And as long as you do them both ways like that, that takes the strength out of that thing and does it pretty well. So there you go. Now, the way I store cards, I don't use rubber bands, obviously. I use 7-coin envelopes. So once you get a whole team in there, you just plop them right in and they're good to go. Just like that, nice, safe, and secure. People have different ways of doing it, but obviously I don't suggest using rubber bands. I personally go to the 7-coin envelopes and put all the teams in there. Let's see. Let's try another. Well, these are the Orioles on top, so curious. We've got a pretty decent stack of extra players, so I'm not sure. A lot of these guys I've never heard of, like this guy here, I can't even pronounce his name. Sadani Rafaela, maybe for Boston. Never heard of him. He had 83 at bats. So I don't know anything about this guy, but I'm trying to learn about the modern game as best I can and like the modern game. So, yeah, like some of these names, I just don't know who they are. But that's the fun of half the fun of getting a strat set is unperforating them and putting them in the team envelopes. And I already have, in anticipation of this set coming, I've already printed out all my team envelopes on my number 7 envelopes, printed off the logos and the records and the name of the manager. So I got those all ready to go for all the teams. So in this case, if I can find the Orioles somewhere in here. They're somewhere in here. I just don't know where they are. There they are. So there are the Orioles. When I want to separate the Orioles, they'll be right there. 101 and 61, manager Brandon Hyde. So, and like I said, the nameless players is something new for me. These little nameless players. I don't know if anybody ever has these before or has used them, but they might be kind of interesting to use. They're only $3. I figure, what the hey. That's only $1 more than the $2 service charge they use for shipping and handling or whatever. So, or processing fee or whatever they call it. So I figured, if I'm playing particularly an older set that I don't have the computer version for, I can plop one of these guys in as a substitute card as a placeholder. And it's got, 220 average, 240 average, 250, 270, 260, 210, 250, 300. And you can use that. And again, it's got the advanced side as well of the same cards. And there are some little instructions right in here. You can't really see it in my little, it's so small print, so you really probably can't see it there. But anyway, interesting to try those with my 1920 set and see how it goes. Ron, if you want a good video on how to print on these envelopes, go watch the Replay Gamer. That's how I learned how to do it myself. It's very, once you learn how, it's simple in Word. There's a setting where you set the size of the envelope and then you stick it in there and you're ready to go. But Replay Gamer has a video on this, on printing Strat envelopes. That's the best resource I know to look that up and get that done. Now, I've heard 76 was like paper, which is why I did not buy this, or buy 76. I've got 76 in inside pitch and payoff pitch, so I didn't see any need to get it in Strat. These cards are much like the last year's cards, which were better than average stock. These are not quite paper, so they're a little bit heavier, a little bit thicker. I like the font. The font is a lot bigger. It shows up better, but don't know how well the advanced side shows up because it's you're dealing with the blue and pink background. So you're welcome, Ron. Again, check Replay Gamer, his channel. He hasn't done any videos in a while, but he's done quite a few in the past. And he did an excellent video and taught me how to do it. And I am not exactly the most savvy when it comes to computers. So if I can figure it out, I would think anybody could figure it out. So again, if you don't want to do it, some people would take all three of these and do it. I'm a little scared to do that. I guess I probably could, maybe. It's a little rough here to take three of them, but I guess I could do it that way. It might be a little faster, but again, I'll take the extra minute or so to make sure I don't rip one of these cards up. And I'll have to go through and see how many cards on each team. I know, the base set has 27 per, but then the extra players, I'm not sure how much of the oh good, I'm glad somebody uses these nameless players. I've never used them. I'm curious to use them just for the heck of it. What are the new rules? These new rules that were in here are old. This paperwork is old. It's from 2018, so I don't think there's anything new on here that that they talk about. Yeah, it really doesn't say much, to be honest with you. Doesn't really talk a whole lot about it. But of course, computer has the ghost runner and pitcher having to face three batters and all that kind of stuff. So, well, good. I'm not the only one who bought the nameless players. I don't feel so bad then. I actually saw Jeffrey Gudeman, who does a lot of Strat-O-Matic on his channel. He had those for the 1911 season, and I thought they looked neat. So I figured while I'm ordering this stuff for $3, what's an extra $3 when you're spending, close to 100? So I know I'm cheap and frugal, but I figured I could part with $3 just out of curiosity. So, so as far as what I'm going to be doing with this set, my NBC game of the week has already been predetermined to be 1973 based on viewer voting, so I'm not going to be doing that. But I am going to be doing a tutorial, whatever you want to call it, slow playthrough of a Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced game prior to the NBC game of the week starting. For any of those of you who maybe play Advanced and maybe are a little shy about going to Super Advanced, and maybe you think it's a little bit harder than maybe it really is. I certainly thought that way until I saw Espo Strat play it. And then once I saw him play it, and I saw, I believe, Tabletop Earl play it, then I got more comfortable and kind of took the dive into it myself, and I really enjoy the Super Advanced, although I haven't played it in about 2 years. I did Advanced for the Demolition League, but I'm going to be doing, I want to get into some Super Advanced. That's the way the 1973 season is going to be with the game of the week is Super Advanced. So I'm going to do a slow playthrough, kind of a tutorial, slow playthrough, just go over everything from point A to point B in the Super Advanced rules and go over every situation I can think of and play a game through real slow. And if a situation does not come up through the game, then after the game is over, I'll address whatever doesn't come up in the game, whether it be a robbing a home run, or whether it be a pass ball situation, or super advanced stealing situation, although I would assume in the game that would probably come up at least once, but there may be something that doesn't come up. I don't know. Hello, Larry. How you doing? Good to see you. Brian, I've got the 73 season on Strat computer, so I'm just going to let Strat sim the other games I don't play. And that will be an easy thing to do. So that way I keep it Strat for Strat. I'm not using Replay PC or anything else to sim anything. I'm using Strat for Strat. And the slow playthrough game is going to be an opening day game for 2023 between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds. I'm a traditionalist above anything else, and to me, opening day should always be in Cincinnati, even though the MLB doesn't think so anymore. So I'm going to play in the slow playthrough. It's going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates against the Cincinnati Reds from opening day. So that's going to be the game that's going to be played on the slow playthrough. We'll be using those two teams. Let me get here to, let's see here. I don't know if Espo's got his own schedule there, I guess. You know, he comes in for a while and then he fades away and then he comes back. I don't know what, personally what he's got going on, whether that's maybe he's playing offline, just doesn't want to do videos anymore or not, but he definitely is one of the first people that got me started in Super Advanced. And I got distracted, so let me get back and try to find the Shohei Ohtani card. Let's find, there he is. There's Shohei Ohtani's pitcher card is right here. Shohei Ohtani's pitcher card is right here. He was 10-5 in 23 starts with a 3.14 ERA, 132 innings pitched, 85 hits, 55 walks, 167 strikeouts. That's his basic side of the card. That is his advanced and super advanced. Looks like against lefties he gets dinged pretty good in column 1. Against righties, not quite as much. And looks like it might be a little tougher against right-handers, maybe. Don't know the stats in front of me to see if that's true or not. Now, can I find his hitting card? That's the other thing. Let's find the hitting card. And I remember a couple years ago when his pitching card was in the additional set, and people were clamoring as to why it was in the additional set and not with the original players. And as Dave Little explained in his video, if you take him off, then you got to take somebody else out of the original set that had more of an impact, play more games. So it wasn't a ploy by Strat just to sell more extra player sets. It was done by the numbers. All right, so here's Shohei Ohtani's batting card. 44 home runs and just 497 at bats. So if he played a full season, he could have easily hit 55 home runs or so. That's his basic side of the card. You see column 1 right here, home runs in 4, 5, 6, and 7. Well, 4, 5, and 6, and a partial in 7. We flip to the advanced side. You see he's got home runs pretty good in column 1 on both sides. Obviously much better against righties. He's got, like on 5 here is a home run, where on here it's a ground ball second base C. So obviously I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he must have hit right-handers at least significantly better than he did against lefties. And of course here's the Mike Trout card, another popular player from the LA Angels. So I wanted to at least show that card, but didn't show anything else because people seem to like to look at cards like Shohei Ohtani, much like last year's Aaron Judge card. Ron, Dave Little is in the chat. Just click on his name there and you'll go straight to his channel. He did a very good video on why he likes Strat-O-Matic, kind of a somewhat of a response to ID Jester's rant on Strat-O-Matic. Very well done, very polite, and very, wasn't argumentative or anything. Just kind of told it like it is and gave his side of the story and said this is why Strat does what it does and why he likes Strat-O-Matic. And it's just a well thought out video. So I would highly encourage you to go back and check that out on his channel. He also has other stuff, but he does. If you're a wrestling fan, he does a lot of wrestling stuff. And Dave, I'm not sure if I'm assuming you're gonna get back to some action PC basketball at some point. That was your big thing back on Friday nights, particularly the early '70s, late '60s era. So that would be cool. Um, but if that's not your thing anymore, that's cool too. But it was enjoyable while it was, while you were doing it. I enjoyed it. I'm not a big basketball fan, but I did like the way you presented that, and I would tune in just to see that. So we shall see. Let's see. So I'm not sure what else anybody might want to see out of this. I wasn't even sure I was going to do this unboxing at all. I just figured, what the hey. Uh, in case anybody didn't know, uh, I almost had a ID gesture size rant against Strat-O-Matic. Basically, what had happened, some of it was my fault in the beginning, which I will admit. When I ordered the set, I was being frugal. So oh, it's okay. It's perfectly understandable, Mr. Little. Perfectly understandable. Um, Let me get back to let me get my train of thought going here. What I was going with. Yeah, my frugal side got the best of me. So what I was doing price comparisons on the 2023 season. I was seeing what the price difference was between just getting the card set and getting the card set with the PC and the uh, what do you call it, the card imaging and all that stuff, kind of comparing the prices and whatnot. Well, and I was on the fence about whether to get this set at all. Period. Wasn't sure if I was going to get it or not. And then one day at lunch, I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get the set. So I went ahead and did my order because I'd pre-saved it. However, I pre-saved just the cards, not the computer. So I ordered it, but I never got the computer. And I contacted Strat-O-Matic and said, look, I made a mistake. I didn't want to order just the cards. I want to get the cards with the computer and the imaging and everything else. Can you please cancel this order? And then I'll reorder with the whole kit and caboodle. Well, Strat was very kind. I said, sure, we'll go ahead and cancel it for you. And I submitted the next order. And I paid through PayPal. I used PayPal to pay Strat-O-Matic. So PayPal sent them the first money for just the card set with the additional players. And then I ordered the full kit and caboodle, and PayPal sent money to Strat-O-Matic for that as well. So I waited a day or two, and finally it said that my original order was in refund status. And it stayed in refund status for like 4 days, and nothing happened. And I looked at my little invoice, and it said under the refund status, it showed a zero balance, not a credit balance. So I went back and forth with Strat-O-Matic. I actually called them. The first time I ever called Strat-O-Matic, I actually called and got a hold of somebody at Strat-O-Matic because I had a couple emails going back and forth and I wasn't getting anywhere. And I finally called the guy, the guy answered. I don't know his name, and told him basically what was happening and what was going on, what my concerns were. I was like, I'm not in a rush to get the money back, but I eventually do want to get the money back. I don't want to pay twice for one set. And he said, well, we'll look into it, blah, blah, blah. And I said, look, it's not showing any refunds. PayPal is saying that there's no refund there. So he was basically trying to say that the problem was with PayPal. So he had me go to PayPal. So I went back to PayPal, got them on the phone, and they were like, look, we don't have any record of any credit from Strat-O-Matic. And so finally, I took the original invoice email from Strat-O-Matic for the order. I took the order that represented on PayPal, put them both together, put it in one email, sent it to Strat-O-Matic customer service, said, look, if you look at this, it shows a zero balance. I'm in accounting. When there is a credit, there should be a credit balance, not a zero balance. A zero balance is voiding a purchase. It is not canceling a purchase. Had there been no money paid, then yes, there would have been a zero balance. But since the money was paid, money needs to be refunded. And finally, like a day later, I get a notification from PayPal that says they received the credit from Strat-O-Matic. And on top of that, I got the email from Strat-O-Matic saying the package was on the way. So I don't know whether my finagling with Strat-O-Matic, maybe they were trying to appease me and make me feel better by bumping my order up a little earlier. I don't know, because I didn't order these until the 20th of February, and I got them this afternoon. And I've heard some stories about people that pre-ordered on the first day and still haven't gotten them. So I don't know whether they bumped me up ahead of time or not. Not sure. But either way, finally got it resolved. Now it's still sitting in PayPal. It hasn't gone to my credit card yet. It's supposed to hit my credit card on Monday. So, but at least I know PayPal has it. And now if there's any issue, I can deal with PayPal, not with Strat-O-Matic. So believe me, I actually, and hello RJL, I actually instant messaged RJL on Facebook, basically doing a rant. And I told him what I was going to do with my Strat-O sticker, where I was going to stick it. And I was actually going to change my 1973 Game of the Week from Strat-O-Matic to something else, because I was in a flustered mode with Strat-O-Matic. I was almost fed up with them. But then they finally got it resolved after much finagling and much nudging. But it was almost getting to the point where it wasn't worth the effort to get my money back. I was working too hard to get it back. So I got it back. So kudos to them for finally getting ahead of it. Somebody, it got lost in transit somewhere from the person that processed the cancellation on the order to the accounting person. Somehow that train didn't get hooked together, and left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing. So I don't know if they figured it out eventually on their own, or whether my much nudging got them going. I don't know. But anyway, long story short, it worked out. So we're back on the NBC Game of the Week with Strat-O-Matic. And Robert, since you came in late, the slow playthrough that I'm going to be doing very shortly in Strat-O-Matic to get ready for the 73 Game of the Week will be opening day 2023 between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds. That will be the slow playthrough game, because as a traditionalist, I like to play every first game in Cincinnati. So that's what's going to be happening there. I do have the season on PC, so if I'm missing anybody, I can print them out. But if I don't feel like printing them out, I did buy the Nameless players that I can pop in if I need to. So, yep, Dav, I'm not even sure how to pronounce what your name is there. It's DAVO9GLA. I'm not sure. I don't want to butcher your name. But yes, I bought season ticket. I played one game. I will be playing some more. In fact, I've already got my game set up. 1979, opening day, Twins and Mariners. That will be the next game in season ticket. I've also got Fall Classic that I will be continuing to play because I enjoy that as well. But I'm starting to get the itch for Strat-O-Matic again because I haven't played it in a while. And Dave is your name? Hey, good to see you. You got a good name. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to get back to that. But I need to play a few practice games to get my skills back up on Super Advanced. So I'm going to do the slow playthrough. I'm ready to present that without butchering anything. So the cards, good quality. I can't complain. They're much like the 2022 set. They're a little bit thicker than the normal Strat-O-Matic in the past. So they're still using pretty decent card stock. It's not paper thin. It's, pretty decent. It's not payoff pitch by any means, but it's that's right, Mr. Little. We got a I think we ought to have a monopoly on that, but anyway, it's a good biblical name for sure. So, and Dave, and speaking of that, Mr. Little, I do enjoy your I don't know what you want to call it, testimony, meditations, your journey with Jesus. I do love those videos. I watch them whenever they come out. I don't really comment on them, but I certainly watch them and enjoy your take on that and your perspective and what you've learned and sharing with everybody. That's very, very neat. I enjoy that. So not only do I enjoy did I enjoy your basketball, but I definitely enjoy those as well. Keep those up. People are watching. Whether you think it's a lot of people watching, there's enough watching that I think if the Lord's leading you to keep going, then you keep going. Hello, Woodman. How you doing? You shouldn't order 76. I didn't say that. I just heard that the paper quality was real thin. Now, if I didn't have 76 in payoff pitch and inside pitch, I would have ordered 76 in this, but I've already got it, which is why I didn't order 84 because I've got 84 in inside pitch and payoff pitch. So I really didn't think. And plus, I've got the 84 original Strat-O-Matic, the original white and blue cards that came out from way back when. So I've got those already. So I didn't see any reason to order 84 in this. It's a great season, 84. Tigers, Cubs, Padres, interesting teams and whatnot. So I don't know, RJL, since you're here, do you want to see any Mets? Is anybody on the Mets? You want to see a card for the Mets? Since you're a Met guy, even though I think that's considered that may be considered a mental disorder. I don't know, to be a Met fan, but we'll see. See what we got for the Mets that's any good. Is there anybody for the Mets that's any good? There's got to be somebody that's decent on the Mets, right? Let's see if I can find them. Here we go. We got some New York Mets guys. Brandon Nimmo, Pete Alonso with his 46 home runs and his potent 217 average. How about that? 217 for Mr. Alonso. Check that out. 27. Hello, Jeremy. How you doing? 217 average for Mr. Alonso. What do you think of that? 217. He got his 46 homers, but he's got 217 as an average. Go figure. Let's see who else is out there for New York. Any decent pitchers? Not that I can see, unless I'm missing somebody. I don't think they had much in the way of pitching. I think they're more offensively. I don't see a whole lot with the pitching myself. Did anybody win 10 games for them? They got to have a 10-game winner, don't they? Do the Mets not have a 10-game win? Oh, Cody. This guy won 12 games. Cody Senga, the guy they got from, I guess he's from Korea. I'm not sure, Japan, Korea, one of the two. That's their best pitcher. 12-7 with a 2.98 ERA. It's a pretty good pitcher, actually. Cody Senga, I think is how you pronounce his name. So somebody decent for the Mets all of a sudden. Guess a blind hog finds an acorn once in a while. You want to see some Cardinals? All right, let's see what the Cardinals were a last place team, weren't they? Or close to last. Pretty bad, if I'm not mistaken. Got Paul Goldschmidt here, and we got where's Arenado? He's over here. Arenado used to be a 1, Arenado. Now he's a 2. So I guess he's in his older age. He's dropped defensively down to a 2. So he used to be a 1. And Goldschmidt, let's see. Goldschmidt is a 1. He's a 1 with an E2. So obviously a Gold Glove type fielder there to go along with his 25 homers and 80 RBIs, although he did strike out 161 times. Let's see, Arenado had 26 homers, 93 runs driven in. The catcher, Wilson Contreras, taking over for Yadi Molina. He's a 3 defensively. All he does have a -3 arm, but still. Was there anybody particular you wanted to see? Any particular player on the Cardinals you wanted to see? You want to see Scherzer? He's probably in the extra players. Unless he's with, and he might be with Texas because he got traded to Texas. So maybe, let me see if he's on Texas. He might have a combined card with Texas. Let me check that and see if that's the case. I'm thinking, yeah, he's sure. Well, no, this is just his Texas stats. He was 4-2 with a 3.20 ERA and 8 starts. So he's probably on the extra players for the Mets, for his Mets stats. Probably on the extra players, I imagine. That's what I'm thinking. Wow, Aroldis Chapman, 58 innings pitched, only 37 hits allowed, and 103 strikeouts. Much better than he did for the Yankees in 2022 for sure, although he's still loaded with walks. That still is Achilles' heel, are all these walks, particularly against lefties. He walks a lot of lefties. So Schwarber, all right, let's check the Phillies and Schwarber. Let's check Phillies and Schwarber. At St. Louis, I don't want to go back that far. I need Phillies. Right past the Mets, no less. There he is, Kyle Schwarber, 47 home runs, 104 runs driven in, walked 126 times, but struck out 215 times. A 197 average, on base 343, slugging 474. So his advanced side, he's a 5 with a +1 arm in left field. So pretty much need to DH him for sure. Pretty bad for Schwarber. Got some pop, but he's got a lot of strikeouts, a lot of walks, and a lot of strikeouts. And danger Will Robinson to play him in left field. He's not good at all. So let's check some other Phillies. See if they've got anybody that's worth viewing. Bryce Harper, Trey Turner. Pretty good year for Trey Turner, I would say. 26 home runs, 76 RBI. This can't be right. This has got to be a misprint. Can somebody look this up for me? Because this has got to be a misprint right here for Trey Turner. This has to be a misprint. Let me see if I can get him closer here to show you what I'm talking about. This has to be a misprint. Let me make sure it shows up on the camera here. But this has to be a misprint. Has to be. 30 stolen bases and not caught stealing at all. Is that true? Did he get 30 stolen bases without being caught? Is that a true stat, or is that a misprint for Trey Turner? 30 steals, no caught stealings. Is that a misprint for Trey Turner? 30 steals and no caught stealings. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Is that really true? I'm curious to know if that's really true or not, because that seems pretty remarkable if that's the case. On his super advanced stealing, there it is over here, super advanced stealing, he only gets a jump on a 4 or a 5, but he gets a 20 if he gets the jump, even a 13 without the jump, but 4 or 5 is all he gets. So it seems like to me he's not giving him much of a lead there. It is confirmed that he did steal 30 without being caught. That's pretty interesting. You would think they give him a bigger jump number here, but maybe they don't do that because they give him the 20. If you jump too much, then that's going to be too many steals. So maybe they're trying to limit it to 30 steals with that minimum number, because he did play almost every day. So I guess so he won't get like 100 steals. They probably lowered him to the 4 and the 5 in order to get the jump. So I guess that's what they did there. I'm assuming that's what they did. You're putting him on the Mets. AAA stealer, I thought maybe one time Ty Cobb might have been a AAA stealer. I'm not sure. I don't know if there's ever been a AAA stealer I know, but usually it's been AA. But I thought I saw something along the way about that. I'm trying to find anybody else that might be interesting to see. I don't know who won the Cy Youngs or whatever for each league, so I don't know like who the top pitchers were necessarily. I know Tampa Bay had a guy that was pretty good. Where'd he go? Shane McClanahan. Yeah, he was pretty good. For Tampa Bay, Shane McClanahan, 11-2 with a 3.29 ERA, so that's not too bad. Texas, look at Texas. They were the world champions after all. So they've got to have somebody that's halfway decent, right? You would think. Let's see, these are all Arizona guys. So let's see about Texas. Oh, that's Toronto. So I gotta go back for a little further for Texas. Nathan Eovaldi was pretty good at 12-5, the 3.63 ERA. Let's see, anybody else any better? John Gray. I'm assuming that since he got injured, I'm assuming Jacob deGrom must be in the additional players for Texas. So I don't think he had enough games pitched to get in the regular set. At least I'm thinking that. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anybody else necessarily that's standing out. I don't even know who their closer was. Who had the saves here? Oh, Will Smith had 22 saves for him. So I don't know if anybody else had. I guess Will Smith was considered their closer. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not as adept at the modern teams as I am at the older teams. Blake Snell of San Diego won the Cy Young in the National League. Let's see. So let's look at Mr. Snell for the Padres. Mr. Snell, where are you, Mr. Snell? Missed it by one page. I went one page too far. Blake Snell, where are you? There he is, right here in the upper corner. 14-9 with a 2.25 ERA. 99 walks, 234 strikeouts, and 180 innings pitched. There's his basic side of his card. There is the advanced side of the card. Not a whole lot of stuff given up there, is it? Not very much given up there. So, although he's got a +5 hold, so apparently you can steal on him pretty good. So if you do get on, you might be able to steal off of him. That's the only thing I can think of there is you might be able to get some steals off of him. Yeah, he had a lot of walks. He had 99 walks and 180 innings. So, you know, it's like 4 walks every 9 innings, basically, or 4.5 walks every 9 innings. Move this out of the way real quick. As we have a visitor that has joined us that wants to join the Strat party. So she wants to interrupt a little bit. And we'll get back to some more cards as soon as she decides to leave out of the way. I don't know who's in the extra player set. I can look on this page and see if anybody is interested in viewing anybody that's in the extra cards. I don't know if there's anybody that's. Let's see if DeGrom is in the extras. He is. He is in the extras for the Texas Rangers, so he is there. You get a lot of cards, I will say that. You do get a lot of cards. So I thought she was done, but apparently she is not. Now she wants to park it here. Tabby, you can't do that because you're messing everything up. So it's time for you to go. Why don't you go on down there and get your rest? Okay. So I don't know if anybody wants to see any other card. Let me fix the focus on here, hopefully. If anyone wants to see any other cards or whatnot. Logan Webb of the Giants. Let's check Logan Webb of the Giants. He's down near the bottom here, alphabetically, San Francisco. So let's see here. Logan Webb. Where are you? There he is. Not all that great. 11-13 with a 3.25 ERA. That's the basic side of his card. The advanced side is here. Gets dinged up on 8 and 9 in columns 1 and 3. So they can come up pretty, quite a bit there. So +2 hold rating. He does have a 7. That's surprising that they gave him that he has a starting fatigue rate of 7. He must have had a complete game or something. I don't know, but yeah. Pitched 216 innings, so he definitely had one of the more higher workloads of any pitcher that I can see out there. Let's see. Mets Alvarez. Who's the Alvarez that's on the Mets? Should I know that name? Mets. Alvarez Mets. Oh, here he is. Francisco Alvarez. Is he a catcher? He's a catcher. Okay. He's a catcher. Oh, yeah, 25 home runs, 63 runs driven in. Only hit 209, though. Defensively, he's a 3. So here is his advanced side. He's a 3 with a +1 arm. And a pass ball of 2 and a 1-12 on the throwing error. Does have quite a bit of home runs here against right-handers, even though he was a right-handed hitter. He's got a lot of ballpark shots, a couple of ballpark shots down here as well. So that's Francisco Alvarez of the Mets. He did lead. Okay, so that makes sense. He led the majors in innings pitched. All right. Jose Ramirez of the Guardians. Jose Ramirez of the Guardians. And I still can't get used to calling them Guardians. They're still the Indians in my book. But let's see what we've got. Here he is, Jose Ramirez, 24 homers, 80 runs driven in, 282 average, a 2 at third base. He's an A stealer. He stole 28 bases, caught 6 times, walked 73, struck out 73, 475 slugging, 356 on base. His advanced side of the card is over here. He is a switch hitter, but it looks like he's about even. Looks like the maybe a little bit better on base against righties with a couple of walks there, but he hits better against lefties in column 3. So, and the column 2 is about the same. Looks like he's got maybe a little more pop against lefties, maybe a better average against righties, something like that. But yep, that is Jose Ramirez. So that's the old joke that I had told said to somebody one time about a little kid who had to get a school permission slip signed, and so he went to Progressive Field and got one of the Cleveland players to sign it. The teacher asked him, "Why'd you do that?" He said, "Well, you need a parent or guardian. I got you a guardian right here. They signed it for me." So that's about the only thing I have about guardians. Yeah, Justin, you have to kind of just eyeball it and see what you think. I mean, you can look up the stats for yourself ahead of time and see which way you think it might flow. But it's hard to tell. And again, in case somebody missed it, I got my envelopes pre-done thanks to Replay Gamer. Got them all. There's the old Guardians right there. Got them all. Terry Francona, I think he retired after that season, so I think he's no longer the manager. I think that was his last season. They were 76 and 86. But yeah, watch the video by Replay Gamer if you want to learn how to print these 7-coin envelopes. Batista for the Orioles. Let's see. Well, let's see. I've got the Orioles already pulled out, so let's see Danny Batista. Is that his name, Danny Batista? I got pitchers and batters mixed up here, so let's see if I can find him here. I have no clue who this guy is. Obviously, it's from overseas in either Korea or Japan somewhere. Shintaro Fujinami, 7-8 with a 7.18 ERA in 7 starts. How do you have? He had 15 decisions in just 79 innings. He had 7 starts and he was also in relief, but a 7.18 ERA. Pretty wild. Pretty wild to have that. He's a starter of a 4, relief of a 3. So that's his card there. Let me find Batista if I can. Let's see. Where are you, Mr. Batista? I got to find Batista. It's got to be in here somewhere. Unless I put him in the envelope already, which I may have done. Let me pull him out of the envelope. I'm sure he's in the envelope. It's probably one of the first ones I pulled. Let's see. No, these are all batters, aren't they? Yeah, they're all batters, so he's not there. Batista's got to be somewhere. Oh, there he is. Got him. Okay, got him. So Felix Batista, 8-2 with a 1.48 ERA and 33 saves. So I think he was actually an excellent closer. Excellent closer. Card stock is the same as last year's. If you got last year's card stock, then it's very similar to that. It's better than the previous card stock. It's not, it's not the black set and it's not payoff pitch, but it's pretty good actually. So 8-2 with a 1.48 ERA, 61 innings pitched, only 30 hits allowed, and 110 strikeouts. That's the basic side of Batista's card, and this is the advanced side. Not a lot going on there. In fact, there's hardly any hits on that. There is a home run here partially, and a single here partially, and there's a single there up at the 2 and a 12. So you got to roll a 2 or 12 to get a hit off his card. You do get some walks, but mostly it's going to be strikeouts. So very, very, very good card there. I imagine he'd be very tough to hit against. unless you start getting all the pitcher card, the batter cards and whatnot. So it's a lot of guys on here that I really don't know anything about. So I will have to learn some more. And since I have a T-Mobile phone, they're coming out with we get the MLB package for free as part of the perks. So I'll be signing up for that when it comes out, probably in 2 weeks. Do I go by the number of saves? No, because saves kind of, to me, you can pad your stats with the easy saves. I look at more at ERA. Now, they don't have WHIP on here, but I look at ERA and strikeouts. Because to me, a closer needs to have good strikeouts to get out of jam with people on base without any runners advancing. That's just me. Oh, I'm sorry, Robert. Let me get you Arias, the batting champ of the National League for the Marlins, for your Miami Marlins. Where'd he go here? Do they still have Billy Marlin or whatever that guy, whatever the mascot is? I don't remember what his name was. Let's see. There he is, right on the corner here. Luis Arias, 354 average, 10 homers, 69 runs driven in, 469 slugging, 393 on base. His advanced side is right here. He can play second. It's a 3 at second, so he's average a second, below average at first. Can't run worth a toot. But he's got a lot. Look at all the singles on his card. If you get column 3, you're getting a hit. Look at this column 3 against righties. It's a hit everywhere on Arias' card. Obviously, he hit better against righties than he did lefties because column 3, he's got a hit on every number. Every single number is a hit. Every single number is a hit there. So, good stuff there for Arias. So, like I said, I don't want to belabor Spencer Torgerson of the Tigers. Let's see. I think he's a first baseman, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Detroit. There he is. Detroit. There he is. Spencer Torgerson down here at the bottom of the stack. 31 homers, 94 driven in, 171 strikeouts. So they did have 606 at bats. So he played almost every day. He has a 4 rated at first base, so not very good. 4 in E12, and there's his advanced side for the Tigers. And there's Miguel Cabrera's last Strat-O-Matic card. He's a 5 E25 at first base. If you want to risk playing him there, a 5 E25. So there you go for that particular card. Now, Cincinnati Reds had some young talent, and particularly Ellie De La Cruz. So let's get De La Cruz's card, if I can find it. Oh, let's go on the next page. Next page over. De La Cruz, where did you go? There he is, Ellie De La Cruz. In 388 bats, 13 homers, 44 runs driven in, stole 35 bases. But he did strike out 144 times in 388 at bats. I would say that's kind of an Achilles heel. 388 at bats and 144 strikeouts. He can play short and play third. His advanced side shows him as a 3 in each one. 3E6 at third, 332 at short. He is a double-A sealer in advance, and in super advance, a 2 through 6 or an 11 will get him a jump. And if he gets a jump, he's got a 19 there. So pretty good there as far as speed and whatnot. So, but we'll get to see Ellie De La Cruz on the playthrough. Well, actually, we won't, because I don't think he came to Cincinnati until later in the season. But we'll see the Cincinnati Reds in the playthrough in the first game. Mark, I'm not sure what you're asking here. Do you know a diamond on a batter's card? I'm not quite sure what you're asking about the diamond shots. Acuna, well, he's kind of like the MVP of Atlanta. I mean, still can't figure out how Atlanta didn't make it to the World Series, but I guess because they got beat by Philadelphia is the short answer. But how that happened, I don't know. Acuna. Where are you, Acuna? There is Acuna right here. 41 homers, 106 runs driven in, 73 steals. So a 40-70 guy. Talk about Jose Canseco being a 40-40 guy. He's a 40-70 guy. 41 home runs and 73 runs, 73 steals rather. Defensively, he's a 3 with a -4 arm. So a heck of an arm there for Acuna. A 3 and a -4 arm. How about that? He can steal on a 2 through 6 to get a jump with a 19. If he gets the jump, it starts as a 19. So yeah, pretty potent here. However, Strat-O-Matic is saying he's not very clutch because he's got 5. Let's see, 1, 2. He's got 3 on this side, and he's got 2 on lefties where he loses hits in the clutch, which is again is part of Super Advanced, the clutch rating. So he's got 3 singles here, which turn to outs on clutches against lefties. There's 2 on this column, 7 and 8. And over here, he's got it on 8, 11, and 5. So obviously, the Strat-O-Matic does not think he's a very much of a clutch hitter because he's losing stuff on the clutch side. Yes, the left-right splits on the advanced side will tell you how often a batter faced a particular pitcher. So let's look at somebody like Kevin Pillar. You could tell Kevin Pillar was kind of a platoon player because he faced 55% lefties and only 45% righties, and that's usually bass backwards. I'm not sure. Well, it shows up on my computer here. It's 55 and 45. 55 and 45. So somebody like Sam Hilliard is a lefty, 11% against left-handers, 89% against right-handers, and as you can see, his lefty is a lot of strikeouts on the left-hand side, where he's got some hits here on the right-hand side. I don't know how many bats he had for the season. Hilliard, let's see. Hilliard had, where'd you go, Hilliard? There he is. He only had 72 at bats, so not a big sample size to go through on that one. Yes, diamond is ballpark effects. The triangle is single effects, and the diamond is the home run effects. I haven't watched hardly any spring training games yet. I'm going to try to get into those maybe next week when we get closer to actual real games and whatnot. But anyway, I'm going to spend the rest of the evening, hopefully, if I don't fall asleep first, hopefully sorting these things and getting them in their envelopes and getting them ready to go. Getting them stored. I like to put them all in the 7-coin envelopes and then put them in one of these tubs that I get from Walmart. This is the tub I'm using to hold my Fall Classic sets that I put in the plastic there. And I like to use these little like $1 and something at Walmart. And they fit pretty well, and I can usually fit a whole season in one. A little bit tight with the extra players in the newer sets, but the older sets definitely fit in play, but a little bit tighter with this one. Let's look at Spencer Strider. Somebody mentioned him, so we'll check him out. Oh, you want to see a good card? Look at Matt Olson. Matt Olson, 54 home runs, 139 runs driven in, and he walked 104 times. Slugging 604, on base 389. And if you think that's awesome enough, he's a 1 defender. At first base, he chimes in as a 1 E8. The only thing he can't do is run. He's a terrible runner, but he does everything else very well, particularly against right-handed pitching. He will crush right-handed pitching in that 3 column. So Matt Olson definitely is a tough one. Let's see here. I was going to Spencer Strider. That's what I was going to. So let me get Spencer Strider. There he is. He's down here at the bottom. Seems like a lot of cards I look for on there are always at the bottom on the corner there. Spencer Strider, 20 and 5. 32 starts, 281 strikeouts. A little bit high on the ERA at 3.86, but he definitely obviously got some run support to get 20 wins in 32 starts with a 280, struck out 281. So let's look at his advanced side of the card. There's his advanced side of his card. His nines really get him. He gets hurt with the nines, but his 6s and 7s and 8s are pretty good over here on both sides. So, yeah, Spencer Strider definitely is a tough one, tough cookie, as they say. So, all right, folks, I didn't want to belabor this and stretch out too much. Plus, I want to get my work done on this and get this stuff separated and put into teams and stored and all that good stuff. And like I said, coming in the near future will be the slow playthrough super advanced, my version of a tutorial or a demo, as my channel name signifies, of the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates opening day 2023. And that'll be coming up very shortly as we lead into April 6th, which is the opening day of the 1973 NBC Game of the Week. First Saturday game of the week in 1973 was April the 6th. So that's the date we're going to be shooting for. I don't know what date that corresponds to in 2023, but in 1973 it was April 6th. So that's what we're going for. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And if you came in late, you always want to make sure you go back to the beginning of the video because you don't want to miss the gun. Well, by popular demand or unpopular demand, I'll do it again. My 59-year-old guns. If anybody's wants to view them, there they are, right there, my guns. So see that bulge? That bulge that got the guns going. Come on, Anthony, where are you? I'll challenge you. So. Not really. I don't want any piece of Anthony. He's a very nice gentleman, but I don't want to. He's too big for me to mess with. He's got the real guns. Me and Kirk just pretend we have guns, but Mr. Anthony at Bleacher Bounce Gaming has the real guns, and I'm not going to challenge him at all. So anyway, that's good from here. I appreciate you guys spending part of your Saturday with me and checking this out. I will eventually change the title to say Strat-O-Matic Unboxing, but I figured I'd do something different and just kind of leave it a mystery as to what it was. And that's why I put Tabby on the little picture in the beginning. I'll change that too, but just to be different, I don't know, just feeling weird, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, be sure, folks, to check out Dave Little's channel, Robert's channel, RJL Network. If there's anybody else in here that has a channel that streams videos, if I missed you, I apologize. Let me see if there's anybody here I can recognize that also has a channel. I didn't see Kevin Hayes. I didn't acknowledge you earlier. Sorry about that. I saw that you asked for Blake Snell, but I didn't catch your name at first. For some reason, I didn't recognize it for whatever reason. I'm not very good with live streams because I lose track of the chat very easily. My own fault. Hello, Sonic and the Tails Boys. Okay, don't know that name, but that's cool. I'm trying to catch anybody I missed, but I think I've caught up with everybody. But in the chat that I can see, the only two I know of that actually stream videos are Robert from RJL Network and Mr. Dave Little. If you want inside pitch, if you want the inside scoop on inside pitch, check out Robert and RJL Network. If you want some good wrestling action or some spiritual devotionals, check out Mr. Dave Little. And hopefully shortly, if you want some Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced slow playthrough tutorial, then I'll be putting that out in a couple of weeks as we get ready for 1973 NBC Game of the Week opening day. Let's see. I thought I had in advance who that game was that I picked out in 1973. If I can look it up real quick, I could probably find it. If I look on my little sheet here, let's see who I had picked out for 1973 opening day. I thought it was a good matchup, but I'll double check it just to be sure. Let's see here. 73. Here we go. Opening day, April the 7th. So it's April 6th is the 2023 date that it's going to be played on is April the 6th. But in 1973, it was April the 7th. And again, we're going to be in Cincinnati because I'm a traditionalist. Like to start the first game in Cincinnati. It's the San Francisco Giants taking on the Cincinnati Reds. That's going to be the first game in the 1973 NBC Game of the Week. And it's going to be Jim Willoughby against Jack Billingham. That's the first game. Game 2 in the second week of the season is Boston and the Yankees, and then followed by Pittsburgh, Chicago, Baltimore, Oakland, and then Houston and the Mets. Those are the first several games of the week, NBC games of the week for 1973. But the opening one will be Cincinnati and San Francisco from Riverfront Stadium, or as Robert likes to call it, the stadium by the river, or in front of the river, I should say. So that's what's going to happen there, or at least what's planned to be happening there. So anyway, it looks like Tabby wants to leave, so I'm being nudged on, and as RJL once said, dogs have owners, cats have staff, so I'm on Tabby's staff, and Tabby has called me for a meeting to get this straight, so I need to take care of business there, I guess, and not have a disgruntled kitty. So again, thanks for everybody for tuning in. I hope your weekend is going well. Hope you're able to play some games in the hobby, no matter what game you happen to like to play. And, yeah, spring training is going on, so catch some games on TV if you can. MLB Network's showing a lot of them. So check those out. And let me get I'll keep these sharp things out of the way. And Tabby will try not to disturb me anymore. But, yeah, it's time for a snack. You got that right. So, all right, everybody. Again, next video, I think I'm going to try to play another game of season ticket baseball early next week, maybe Monday or Tuesday of next week. I want to get some more games in on season ticket because I enjoyed the game I played. So I want to, get into it a little bit along with Fall Classic, and of course, I will play several games offline of Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced just to get my skills back up. And once I feel comfortable, then I'll put out that slow playthrough video probably about the second week of March. Probably a couple weeks, I would say. Maybe 3 weeks, so we'll see how it goes. But anyway, as usual, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, how you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road. Happy weekend, everybody.